So happy for our next guest. She won 2 medals in her second Olympics, a silver and a bronze out in Tokyo. She is the pride of Carroll County. She's from Hampstead, North Carroll alum, and now an Olympic medalist twice. She is Katie Zaferes, and she is back with us here on GCR. Katie, it's Glenn and Kyle. It's so good to chat with you again. Thank you for taking the time, and major congratulations on winning 2 medals in Tokyo.
Thanks. It's so nice to be back.
It's so good to see you. It's so good to chat with you. I'm going to get right to it, and I'm going to end up crying because I was so moved by something that you said after winning the bronze in the individual triathlon. We talked a lot about your dad when we talked to you before the Olympics, and you alluded to seeing a rainbow during the course of the race. Can you tell everybody about that moment and what it meant to you, and we'll do our best to not cry together, all right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's been a really hard year with my dad passing away in April, and I always knew that he was going to be one of the only spectators at the race in Tokyo. However, I didn't really expect for him to make it so obvious because partway through the bike, I looked up and I saw a rainbow right next to a landmark in Tokyo, Rainbow Bridge, and I just gave a little "Hey, Dad," because I knew he was watching, and I asked all the other competitors, all the people in my group after the race. I said, "Well, did you see the rainbow?" And they're like, "How the heck did you see the rainbow while we're racing in the rain?" And to me, I think even the fact that I saw it was just him.
That is really powerful, Katie. That is really, really powerful, and it moved me when I saw that quote afterwards, and it's moving me again right now. You know, to do this. And to know, as you alluded to, he was watching, he was there, he made his presence known. What were the emotions like after the race, knowing that of course you wanted to win gold. Obviously, everybody wants to win gold, but to accomplish this, to be an Olympic medalist, how did you handle your emotions when it was over?
I mean, for sure, it was just really, really special, and I think having gone through a really hard time and being able to regroup and put myself back together again for Tokyo and for that race. I mean, I was just really proud of myself. And while I think after 2019, I would have expected a medal, after 2021 or the beginning of this year, that felt like winning to me.
Yeah,
I think I was the happiest bronze medalist there ever has
been. So you end up getting the silver too in the team competition. So tell us a little bit more. And this is where I have to admit, when we talked before, I had no idea there even was a team competition. So I'm a jerk, and I'm sorry. But the mixed team triathlon, have you ever done something like this before? Was this? I know it was a newer competition in the Olympics, and what was it like being a part of it and giving yourself another opportunity to compete?
So yeah, we've been doing it for quite a few years now. So I've gotten a little bit more experience in the mixed relay,
okay.
But it is relatively new, and it was awesome to be able to share it with the world as its debut in the Olympics. And for me, it's one of my favorite formats because it's one thing to race for yourself, but it's another to race as a team and race as a country. And I mean, you're not just responsible for yourself, but 3 other individuals have to perform on that same day as well. So there's a little bit more pressure when you have to set the tone for the team. And so just to explain it, the mixed relay is 4 athletes, 2 men and 2 women, and we're each doing a really short triathlon. So it's a 300-meter swim, a 6K bike, and a 2K run.
Okay.
We tag off to the next person, and it goes female, male, female, male. And I was the leadoff leg, which is actually a position I've never done. I always usually do the third leg. So I was a little nervous for that. But as soon as I was done, I was like, okay, I set the team up well. And then it's really nerve-wracking watching that even though we have a lot of confidence in each other.
So that's the part that I wanted to get to, which is more nerve-wracking. Is it you making sure you don't let everybody down, or now it's out of my control? I did what I was supposed to do. I have to watch other people and hope for the best.
Before the race, it's more nerve-wracking for me, for my part, and then after I'm done, I'm more nervous for everybody else.
No doubt.
And there was more time to be nervous for everybody else's going first.
I understand that. I completely understand that. You're just like, come on, let's get to the finish line already and be done with this. Walking to come out of this now as a 2-time Olympic medalist, and like you, I know have more goals and things that you want to accomplish, but like I try to think of the right word because justify isn't the word, right? Like you've accomplished so many things. You didn't need to justify your decision to pursue triathlon by winning a medal, but is there something, a fulfillment that comes from this that can't come from even, winning a world championship as you did? Is there a different type of fulfillment that comes from now being a two-time Olympic medalist?
I think so. For me, I think it shows just everything that I've learned since competing in Rio, and that was like my main goal going into Tokyo, was to use everything I've learned in the past 5 years and see how I've developed as a person and a triathlete to show up on race day more ready and more capable than I was, to handle the experience in Rio. And that was the coolest part, was actually being in the race and noticing the differences for myself as a competitor. I mean, in Rio, I got a lot of airtime because it was my butt at the back of the pack, and so in Tokyo, it was nice. My goal had always been, okay, if I do this again, I want to be on the air, but in the front. and so it was nice to actually see that come to fruition, and just to finish knowing that I'd really used everything that I learned, and that all my experiences, the whole community around me, the team that surrounds me, supported me to get there.
The goal was less butt on television, and it was accomplished. Katie Zaferes is with us here on Glenn Clark Radio, the pride of Carroll County, and now a two-time Olympic medalist. Katie, I know when you and I were texting, when you got back, you spent a lot of time with family, and I can only imagine, how much more that meant after what you've been through and them not being able to be there. What have these days been like since you got back home from Tokyo and being able to share this with your family and the people that mean so much to you after everything that you guys have been through since your dad died?
I mean, it's amazing to just be reunited with my family and we went to the Outer Banks for just a few days with my mom and my sisters, and to be with them and in a really special place to our family and my dad. And it was really nice. And I mean, people ask like about me and how I feel about getting a medal, but I'm sure my family and friends feel the same way because they've experienced everything with me, the highs and the lows. So it was definitely nice to share that with them. It was a little hectic because we were going home, seeing family, doing a few obligations, and now we're in Montreal getting ready to race this Friday. So,
wow!
So it was a little hectic.
But, man,
so well worth it.
Is it mostly Olympians that are competing in this in Montreal this week? There was no thought like maybe we should take a couple more days for the next competition.
I would say it's the opposite. I'm one of a few people
who raced, all right.
Tokyo,
most everybody else is like, I think I'm going to skip Montreal after the case. I remember talking about this with you before you went and how you were going to take the experience differently. And clearly it was a very different experience, of course, because, of the nature of the world right now. But how did the experience beyond just winning medals compare to Rio in 2016? And how did you try to approach it differently than you did the first time around being at the Olympics?
Yeah, so in Rio, we were pretty close to the end of the Olympics, and our venue was really far from the Olympic Village. So we actually stayed in the Copacabana, which was like on our venue, but far away from all the Olympic happenings. And I didn't see any events. And by the time our race was over, I was disappointed with my result. And basically the Olympics was over. I got to do the closing ceremonies, which was super cool, but I felt like I didn't really take in the experience of Rio. So going into Tokyo, I was like, okay, no matter what, I'm gonna take in this experience, and whatever my result is on the race, I want to enjoy my time. And I really felt like I did that in Tokyo. Like, I mean, we stayed in the village, which was amazing. We got to see all the other athletes, be really immersed in the USA and the Olympic culture.
That's cool.
Just be able to be in the village with so many people who were doing inspiring performances and trading pins, which is a thing you do in the village. You get pins for your country and your sport, and you trade with the other athletes from other countries, or even with the USA athletes from other sports. So I had this huge lanyard that was filled, and it's a great way to kind of get to know each other.
That's cool. That's
and
really
just
neat.
Like hanging out with my team for USA was really cool, because we're with other coaches and we don't always get to see each other. And I think we really built on that camaraderie leading into our race and the mixed relay, which only made it even more special when we got that silver medal. So for me, like, even before getting the medals, I was like, oh, this is such a nice experience. Everyone was so welcoming. The Japanese were amazing hosts and really put on an event, even with all the challenges
Wow.
that they had.
Wow, that's really cool. That is so cool to hear you talk about it that way. Did you get? I was watching on Instagram. I didn't like see any like selfies with any. Like, was there anybody that you went out of your way? Did you pull off like a fangirl moment at all to like get over and maybe say hello to somebody that you were particularly a fan of during the course of the Olympics?
So I went out of my comfort zone and asked for a selfie with Nigel Houston, a skateboarder,
Okay.
because my husband is a super fan,
Oh, that's
and I
cool.
was like, I have to do this for Tommy.
That's cool.
and Nigel was nice and took the selfie with me, and so that was really cool because it was also skateboarding's first time in the Olympics. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what did it mean to your husband? How cool? Like, was he flipping out about it?
He was. I just confirmed. Yeah, I just looked at him across the room to make sure that
awesome.
He was as happy as I thought he was.
That is really, really cool. All right, Katie Zaferes, just another minute or two with her. Again, she wins 2 medals out in Tokyo in the triathlon, a silver and a bronze. Katie, we're only 3 years away, right? And so, I know you're into your 30s and you've done this twice already. Does maybe, the success that you had, but there still being that thing that could linger, the possibility of winning a gold, does that start driving you again to look towards Paris? Are you zeroed in that, no, this is not I'm hellbent that this is not my last Olympics. I want to keep competing?
I'm probably not hell-bent on it, but
okay.
At the same time, I love what I do, except Tommy and I, we really would like to start a family, but of course we don't really control that timeline. So as long as I can, I'm going to just keep doing triathlon. And if our priorities change, then we might pivot a little bit.
Okay.
To me, gold might be something represented in something else.
I think that's a great testament to, I think a lot of people need to hear that, right? That like winning gold is a really big deal, but there are other things that matter more in life, right? Like that's the way that it works. It's hard. When I was 20, I could have never understood that, Katie. I completely get it because, in my mind, I was going to move all over the country and do all these things. And then my wife was like, hey, I'm pregnant. And I was like, oh, I'm here forever. And this is what I'm doing now. Like, this is my life. So I completely understand what you're saying. And I think it's a powerful thing for people to hear that, like, yeah, winning gold's a big deal, but it's not everything, right? It's not the end. It's not the end all be all. There are things that matter more than that. For
sure.
I think that's incredible. The memory that will last with you the longest from this experience, the thing that happened, the moment. I mean, I don't know how it could be more significant than the rainbow. That probably has to be it. But the moment that will carry with you for the rest of your life that you'll never stop thinking about.
I think just coming into the finish, seeing Tommy, seeing Flora, who was the gold medalist, welcoming me into the finish line, and just feeling that community, the amount of people, like really for since April, but before that even, who have been there for me, and just, I mean, it just felt like so much more than an individual accomplishment, and that feeling will always stick with me.
That's very cool. Well, I know you're not, you're not back here anymore, but I hope you know that everybody back here, it meant a lot to everyone to see you accomplish these things, and I hope somehow, some way, you're able to feel a little bit of that while you're over in Tokyo, the love that you were getting from everybody back here in Maryland. Katie, what can we plug? I know, social media, what, anything at all. What can I get a plug in for you?
Just you can follow me on Katie Zaferes 6 for Instagram, and I do Facebook as well on Katie Zaferes Triathlete as well. And then just my family, my friends, my sponsors, and my state of Maryland. Of course, when you said that, for sure, it's always going to be home to me, no matter where I live. And I'm really proud to have grown up in Carroll County and Hampstead, and just always have that be a part of me.
I mean, it's incredible pride that we have in you, and continuing Maryland's dominance in the Olympics. You and Chase Kalish winning medals this year. And Helen Maroulis as well, and Kyle Snyder, another Carroll County guy, right?
Yeah.
Another medal this year at the Olympics. It's remarkable. Katie, seriously, major congratulations to you. It was awesome to see you do this and knowing everything that you've been through over the course of the last couple of years. Congratulations. Look forward to chatting again, and look forward to whatever comes over these next couple of years for you and for your family. Thank you, as always, for taking the time for us.
Thank you so much.
Katie Zaferes, silver and a bronze in the Olympics this year in Tokyo. bronze in the individual triathlon, silver in the mixed team triathlon, and just that looking up at the Rainbow Bridge and seeing a rainbow when her father had passed away, and as she said, could be the only spectator. Gives you goosebumps, man. It gives you goosebumps hearing her talk about that sort of stuff. That's incredible.